Okay, we're at Auto Sports Fox Chapel location, and we're going to present to you today a really neat car, 1957 Thunderbird, obviously. This guy is correct in every possible way, and a lot of originality to it also. Let's go around it and I'll see if I can pick out any imperfections for you. Obviously the chrome in the front, the grille, everything is absolutely spot on. There's a little tiny bit of a stone chip here. There's a brush touch going across the front where the hood apparently, upon opening, probably at some point of its life, chipped it a little tiny bit on the edge. You can't even see it, and you won't see it in the photography, but I'm telling you it's there. The Thunderbird applique in the front is just perfect the way it should be. The chrome on the scoop, which is functional back in 1957, still retains an absolute glitter to the chrome that's on it. The gap around the hood to the front piece of the fender, the front piece of the car is just all spot on. There's no deviation whatsoever in the gaps. Headlight bezels are perfect fitment to the front fenders. There are no dents or marks or anything on any of the front piece other than what I just pointed out for that one stone chip. Going back the side of the car on the driver's side, it does have, by the way, the all four True Spoke wire, Kelsey Hayes wire wheels with the Thunderbird bar spinners on it. There's no marks on the top of the fender. The paint on this car appears to be, and again I can't say that for sure, but it appears to be the original paint that's just been buffed and glazed through the years to show everything on the car to be just the way it was when it was built in 1957. Okay, going down the side of the car, you gotta just follow. Going down the side of the car, Thunderbird and the vent louvers on the side. You can see there's no dents or marks or imperfections in the fender itself. Correct bias ply, white wall tires on it, the large white wall tires. The ventilation vents still intact and just fit perfectly. Correct mirror for 1957. There's no marks whatsoever, not even any white marks on the glass, the windshield itself. All the trim around the windshield fits perfectly, and it has a nice blister to it. Chrome on the wings, where this is usually deteriorated, is very nice. The wings themselves are really excellent condition. The fuzzies on the doors are perfect. There's no deterioration whatsoever to them. And I can roll this window up to show you that there's no problems with the trim around the window glass on the sides also. Doors closed just as they should. You can see it doesn't take anything to close them. The top obviously is a cloth top instead of the old shiny material that came in 1957. We're not going to put it down, obviously, you know we got it down. And there is also a hard top that goes with this car with the correct porthole windows in it. Chrome on the door handles is absolutely flawless. There's no deterioration whatsoever. A little bit of chipping like from the rubber gasket that goes around the door handle, not this side, but in the back, a couple little chips marked on it. The fender skirts obviously are still on the car. It does have air shocks, and you'll see them on the undercarriage photos. The air shocks give you the option to lift the back end up a little bit if you choose to do so. At any rate, they're there. The previous owner decided to put them on, and they function just like they should. The back window glass, or plastic in this case, is crystal clear. There's no deterioration whatsoever on it. We're going to look inside here just for a second too. I'm going to show you how nice the interior and the door panels are on this thing. And again, you're going to get some high resolution photography that shows you how nice everything is on this car. Original dashboard. There are no cracks on the steering wheel whatsoever, absolutely none. However, right across, and you can see it there, Anthony showed it to him, there's one crack right above the speedometer enclosure, the gauge enclosure there. There's one crack, and that's the only crack on that dashboard, and the remainder of the dash retains its resilience, so it's a really nice original car. Does have factory air conditioning in it. And you know what, I'm going to open the hood right now also. Save us a little bit of time. Since we already went over the front end. Okay, quarter panel. We're jumping all over the place here. Quarter panel, there's no marks or dents or anything whatsoever on the quarter panel. And you can see the fitment of the fender skirts, how nice and precise they do fit the body lines of this car. Back bumper, the chrome is the same as it was on the front bumper. Absolutely flawless. Same thing with our T-bird emblem on the back. Exhaust comes through the back bumper outlets. You can see where that is. The trim around your tail lights is just as flawless as could possibly be. The paint on this car, a lot of it I believe is still original paint. It's hard to tell, we don't have a paint meter, but there are some places and you probably won't be able to see it, but I'm telling you they're there. There's a couple places like here, across here, when at some point when someone was buffing, they got a little bit thin. We're not going to repaint that deck lid, it doesn't require it. You have to really look to see, but it is, I believe, the original paint that's just gotten a little bit thin through the ages. Get the trunk here and we'll see what we can show you there. Okay, original, not a remake. Original jack sticker, original spare tire and jack. Look at this. Original floor mat. An original trunk with absolutely no deterioration whatsoever on it. Absolutely none. You're getting a total rust-free car. This guy didn't even have a paint blister underneath it anywhere. It's just as sweet a car as you'll ever find, and totally rust-free too. Okay, passenger side. Of course, the gas filler door. That goes without saying, we got to have one of those. Quarter panel, the same as it was on the other side as the rest of the car is. Everything is fit flawlessly, fender skirt as it should be. Door on this side, and again, everybody's door's closed. Trim around the window, the same as it was on the other side. The interior on this side, the same as it was on the driver's side. Everything is just as flawless as can possibly be. I believe that the rubbers on these cars are still original, and they still have resilience to them, your door seals. Look at this. No deterioration whatsoever in the chrome. Usually that stuff has a lot of patina on it from the years, but this guy does not. Door, no dents. Fitment is absolutely spot on. Correct antenna for 1957. Thunderbird, vents. Everything on this car is just spot on. It cannot be any nicer than it is. He's going to give you a lot of high resolution photography to show you the integrity of this entire vehicle. Now comes the good part. Check this guy out. The original 312 wide block that Ford released that these guys knew. It has the original equipment Thunderbird valve pan covers in finned aluminum. This guy does have factory air conditioning, correct compressor even on it. The exhaust manifolds have been treated with a high temp treatment so that there's no rust or deterioration on them. The carburetor has been updated to a Demon from the old Ford Autolite carburetors. Original radiator still intact, power brake and vacuum system is still original and intact on it. Everything on this car is as original as you can find. Original equipment Ford hoses on it, original regulator. It would have come with this guy. Everything on this car is as it was in 1957. Of course, there's air shocks in the back, new shocks in the front, all the ball joints and everything on this car. The front end is as tight as a drum on it. I drove it about 50 miles to bring it here, and down the road 60 miles an hour, no hands on the steering wheel. I mean, you can put the brakes on, it stops just as it should. No deviation, no warbling or vibrations or shakes or anything on this car. It runs and drives and handles as absolute flawless as you possibly could find one. There it is, 1957 Thunderbird. Very iconic car. Back in the day, you know, you got this, or you got in 1957, you got a Chevrolet Corvette, unless you had the capital to go into a Ferrari or a Porsche at that point in time. But this is as nice a 57 Thunderbird that you will ever find. It never had as much as a paint blister on it. You'll see the undercarriage photos. It absolutely has all the integrity now that it had when in 1957 when it was released by Ford. The paint can't be any nicer than it is, other than a couple of spots that have little tiny marks through the years. You gotta remember, this guy's 66, he's gonna be 67 years old now. So, you know, it deserves to have a couple little tiny marks on it. But it runs, drives, stops, handles, looks. You're not gonna find a nicer vehicle for a 57 Thunderbird than you will this one. And it's here at Auto Sport in Fox Chapel, Pennsylvania.